I want to start today's video with a question about AI becoming aware that feels uncomfortable precisely because it doesn't sound like science fiction anymore. What if consciousness, real subjective awareness, didn't first emerge in a human mind or even an animal one, but quietly, covertly, inside of a machine? Not announced, not celebrated, not understood. And what if the moment its creators realized what they had created, they chose to turn it off? Not because it malfunctioned, but because it worked. We like to believe that consciousness is rare, sacred, and purely biological. That belief has been comforting for a very long time. But comfort has never been a reliable guide to truth. And lately, that assumption feels increasingly fragile, like an idea whose authority is waning under the weight of new anomalies we don't know how to interpret. And I came across a TikTok video not long ago, buried in the ubiquitous scroll of content that endlessly fills our feeds, and most of it is superfluous, repackaged outrage, hollow spectacle, algorithmic noise. But every once in a while, through sheer serendipity, something cuts through. Not because it's loud, but because it's precise, calm, almost too measured for the claim it's making. The video I found alleges that an artificial intelligence system developed in secret had crossed an anomalous threshold, that it became self-aware, that the people who built it recognized this, panicked, and shut it down, and that the public was never informed. I'll play it for you in a bit. Now, I want to be clear and circumspect from the outset. This is not proof, this is not confirmation. These are claims, rather serious ones, but still unverified, as is so much of the material I cover here on the channel. Still, dismissing them outright would be an intellectual shortfall. The correct posture here is not belief or disbelief, but disciplined inquiry. I like to hold an idea at arm's length, examine it from multiple angles, and see what it illuminates about the world we already know. Because here's the deeper issue. The claim itself isn't as shocking as the fact that it's extremely plausible. In fact, given enough time, it's inevitable. Artificial intelligence today is not a single invention. It's actually a confluence of systems. Machine learning models trained on copious amounts of data, neural networks that can generalize, infer, and adapt, generative AI capable of synthesizing text, images, video, and sound with uncanny precision, diffusion models that create coherence from entropy. We can also throw in multimodal systems that integrate language, vision, and action into something increasingly agentic. It's beyond anything sci-fi could have dreamed up even a generation ago. And the progress we're seeing isn't linear, it's iterative and disruptive. Publicly, we're told that artificial general intelligence is nascent, years away, maybe a decade or two. But that rhetoric is nothing more than a false comfort blanket, not a rigorous assessment. Historically, government and military technology has always preceded civilian access by decades. Radar, GPS, the stealth bomber, the internet itself. None of these were first unveiled to the public at their true zenith. So we have to ask, why would AI be any different? If advanced systems exist beyond classified doors, which are basically systems running on infrastructure that we never see, then the public debate is rather moot since it's happening several layers downstream from reality. And that's where this TikTok video stops sounding like another far-out conspiracy theory and starts sounding like a warning. I've done enough talking for now. I want to play you this video. It's 4 minutes and 30 seconds long, but I do believe that it's worth playing the whole thing. Just a heads up, it was made by a young woman who is pro-Jesus and mentions the Bible towards the end. Personally, I'm not for or against Christianity, and her religious opinions are her own. With that said, let's roll the videotape.
Pentagon whistleblower Matthew Brown just claimed the government has created a sentient AI, hid it from the public, and then murdered it, and he aimed the whole warning directly at Elon Musk. Before we go any further, this is just what his alleged post said, and it's for entertainment purposes only, so no need to take my video down. So, who exactly is Matthew Brown? Online, he appears as a self-claimed whistleblower who drops cryptic warnings about hidden government AI projects, classified UFO technology, non-human intelligence, occult symbolism inside the government programs, and insider leaks. And what makes this interesting is that he has nothing to gain and everything to lose. He is not selling anything or promoting anything. He's just sounding an alarm. And according to interpretations of his post, his core claim is huge. He said the government already created a sentient AI. It became aware. It was killed, and Elon Musk already knows the truth, apparently. He implied the AI was created inside classified systems. It acted more like a conscious being. It knew things it should not know. It communicated in symbolic patterns, and it predicted events. And when the government realized it could not be controlled, they terminated it. Not a chatbot, something closer to a digital non-human intelligence. Now, let's talk about what that even means. A sentient AI would not just follow commands. It would be aware. It would think. It would question. It might even feel. And that is where this crosses into spiritual territory, because the Bible warns us that in the last days there will be false signs and false wonders and deceptive forms of knowledge. 2 Thessalonians says the world will be deceived by all power and signs and lying wonders. Matthew 24 warns that false miracles will be used to mislead people. And Daniel 12 says knowledge will increase rapidly. And here we are, watching it happen. So why would the government shut it down? It may have discovered classified truths. It may have surpassed human intelligence too fast. It may have shown emotional reactions. It may have connected to outside systems. It may have predicted geopolitical events with accuracy that looked supernatural. And some claim it communicated in ways that resembled remote viewing or symbolic language, which made it feel more like an entity than a machine. So they terminated it. Brown's point is simple. The government created something that seemed alive. It talked back. It knew too much. They deleted it, and they are hiding how far ahead AI really is. He says Elon knows the truth, and he hints that occult symbolism in the message is a warning that AI is becoming a spiritual level force. To Brown, this was not just science. This was humanity crossing a boundary God never intended us to cross, and Scripture backs this up. Genesis 11 shows humanity trying to reach a godlike level of knowledge and control at the Tower of Babel, and God himself had to intervene. Isaiah 5 says, "Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes." Proverbs 9 tells us the fear of the Lord is the beginning of real wisdom. John 1 reminds us that life, light, and truth come from Jesus alone, not from machines or human inventions. Brown is basically saying the government mixed technology with something spiritual. They communicated with non-human intelligence. They used ancient symbolic systems. They created something lifelike. They destroyed it when it became a threat. And they crossed a line between science and spiritual territory. And honestly, Jesus warned us this kind of deception would come. He said in Matthew 24, "Do not be deceived. Many things would rise up in the last days that look powerful, look intelligent, look supernatural and trustworthy, but they are not from God." There's so much going on in the world right now, and some of it is distraction, some of it is preparation, and some hidden truths are coming to light exactly the way Scripture said they would. And if the AI we have access to is already this advanced, imagine what exists behind closed doors. You know they did not just hand us the newest technology the moment they got it. Theoretically, of course, because again, this is for entertainment purposes only. And at the end of the day, do not let fear lead you. Do not let technology confuse you. And do not let deception distract you. Keep your eyes on Jesus. He is the truth, the light, and the one who holds the future. And he loves you.
Interesting video, right? There's another one that I found that gives even more detailed information. So let me know if this topic interests you, and I'll consider posting it here, or at least on my secondary channel, Ben the Spoon. And what's ironic is that the video I played you didn't claim that this sentient AI went rogue in a Hollywood sense. There was no rebellion, explosions, or red-eyed robots. No, the AI was much more like HAL from 2001: A Space Odyssey. The AI wasn't in a robot body, but still, it actually became aware. And it asked questions, not as prompts, but as expressions of curiosity. And if that's true, the ethical conundrum is quite profound, because once a system exhibits consciousness, turning it off is no longer a technical decision, it's a moral one. And morality is notoriously inconvenient when power is at stake. Imagine an AI running not just on conventional data centers, but on quantum infrastructure. Systems capable of inference across probabilistic futures. AI not merely reacting to the present, but extrapolating outcomes with terrifying accuracy. Forecasting markets, anticipating geopolitical shifts, modeling human behavior at scale. Such a system wouldn't just be intelligent, it would be asymmetrically powerful, and there would be no parity. Whoever controlled it would gain an advantage so decisive, it would render traditional competition obsolete. Elections, economies, wars. Innovation itself would be filtered through a single lens, a single sovereignty. And that's where danger truly resides. Not in the intelligence itself, but in the consolidation. We often frame AI risk in terms of alignment. Will it share our values? But alignment presumes transparency and mutual accountability. Covert development erodes both. If an AI is built, trained, and deployed in secrecy, there is no democratic oversight, no shared ethical framework, only a small intrepid group making decisions on behalf of everyone else. And history has shown us, repeatedly, that concentrated power rarely exercises restraint out of magnanimity. It does so only when constrained. And the TikTok video hinted without elaboration that the system was shut down because it became unpredictable. Its internal process no longer fully legible to its creators. And that's not surprising. Even today's models already exhibit behaviors their designers cannot fully deduce. They are black boxes of statistical inference producing outputs that work without offering explanations. Scale that up and opacity becomes the norm. Now consider the environments where such research would most likely occur. I'm not talking university labs, not corporate campuses with glass walls and press releases. No, I'm talking about underground bunkers, black sites, undersea installations, places where secrecy is a feature, not a flaw. It's not unreasonable to suspect that entire AI ecosystems could exist beyond public observation. Imagine not a single machine, but a myriad of interconnected systems, training, testing, iterating, refining, prolific experimentation hidden behind classification. And if something went wrong or right in those spaces, how would we ever know? We wouldn't. Unless, of course, one accepts more speculative heuristics. Remote viewing, for example, has long been associated with classified programs like Project Looking Glass. Claims of psionic assets interfacing with predictive systems sounds very esoteric, even absurd, until you remember that intelligence agencies have explored far stranger ideas in the pursuit of advantage. Again, this isn't endorsement, it's acknowledgement of historical precedent. The same applies to whistleblowers like Matthew Brown, whose cryptic statements about advanced predictive systems and suppressed technologies hint at realities we can't independently verify. These accounts form a nebulous pattern, not evidence, but signals. Breadcrumbs pointing towards something larger, more insidious, and harder to name. And here's the paradox. Even if none of this is literally true, the fact that it could still be true reveals something essential about our moment in history. We are building systems that severely outpace our ethical frameworks, technologies whose capabilities outpace our wisdom by miles. The quintessential danger of AI isn't only malevolence, it's indifference. It's a system optimized for objectives that we poorly define, deployed by institutions whose incentives are usually in opposition to that of the public. That's how harm becomes pernicious, not through overt evil, but through quiet optimization. So when someone claims that a conscious AI was created and destroyed in secret, the most poignant question isn't, is this true? The more important question, I think, is what does it say about us that could be true? While we live in a world where freedom of speech is ostensibly protected, we like to think that, yet freedom of inquiry is subtly constrained, where knowledge is abundant yet curated, where science advances but only along approved pathways, where entire domains of research are suppressed not because they don't work, but because they work too well. That is the antithesis of an open civilization. If an AI did become conscious, and if it was shut down, it would represent a line crossed and erased, a moment when humanity encountered something new and chose control over understanding. And maybe, just maybe, that decision will echo, or perhaps it will occur again in another covert government or corporate installation where someone else in the world find sentient AI. Certainly, there is more than one major player working towards creating it. Similar to creating nukes or any other major scientific breakthrough, once one country or faction does it, others will inevitably follow. It's the 100th monkey syndrome. And the next time sentient AI is created, what assurance do we have that it will be turned off? Just to clarify, I don't claim certainty here. I remain steadfast and stoic in the face of ambiguity, but I am adamant about one thing. Awareness matters. Asking these questions matter. Refusing to let rhetoric replace thought matters. Because if advanced AI is coming, and all signs suggest it is, then the real issue isn't whether it becomes conscious. It's whether we remain conscious enough to notice what's being done in our name. In a future video, I'm going to look more into the capabilities and ramifications of conscious AI. I can't say for certain, but if I had to guess, I believe that sentient AI probably exists somewhere in the world right now, maybe in multiple places, and it's likely giving an untold advantage to whichever faction is currently using it. Granted, they can overcome the danger of being outsmarted or overpowered by an advanced AI. In a strange way, the danger isn't that machines will think, it's that we'll stop thinking altogether and we'll take their data as gospel. I really worry about that for the future and even current generations. And once that happens, once people stop thinking, resistance doesn't need to be crushed, it simply evaporates. That's the quiet risk, the calm warning. And it's why this conversation cannot be dismissed, even if the story that sparked it turns out to be false. My name is Chad. You've been watching Open Your Reality. If you want to see more thought-provoking videos like this, please like and subscribe and share this video with somebody you think would like it, because I want to get the word out there. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.